Hello, my name's Ray,
And my name is HairFace.
and together we're just Ray and HairFace.
Together, we're just two guys podcasting
For the first time.
for the first time.
We're trying something new. This is my first time back on my channel since like 4 months ago. A lot of stuff has gone down, and I was like, you know what better way to explain it than having HairFace over and doing like a podcast type setting and just recording a video.
All right. So,
Let's start with who we are. Like, HairFace, please introduce yourself and like a little bit of background about yourself.
what up? My name is HairFace. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything at HairFace. I am a photographer, a creative, graphic designer.
He does it all.
I do a
man.
lot.
He does it all.
I do a lot. I'm old, and I've done a lot. I dabble in everything.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really admire about HairFace. Like, he knows Photoshop, he knows video editing, he knows like picture editing, he knows like website design, he knows a lot about a lot.
Yeah. I've always had to I basically raise myself. So
Hustler. Like, he's a real hustler.
Yeah. Okay, and Ray, tell us about yourself. Where can we find you, first of all?
Ray Sintapia everywhere. My company name is Sintapia, Sintapia. I run 2 labels, a management company, and my 9 to 5 is working at a music distribution company. So that keeps me pretty busy.
Spotify, maybe?
Oh, I also like curate over like 600,000 followers on Spotify.
Damn.
I kind of forgot about that.
That's good, man.
Yeah. It's something I just kind of started like as a hobby. Like, I just started making playlists, and it's like a little bit about my background. Like, I was a DJ for a very long time, so like I always loved like putting music together, and I started doing playlists. People started following them, and yeah, now I have a bunch of Spotify playlists that I own, and it make me a little bit of money when I do Spotify PR campaigns and that type of stuff.
Liddy.
Yeah.
All right, so as we dive into this, we're going to talk about how we both worked at Panda, what we do now after Panda.
Panda
But before we get
a
into
record
that,
label.
Panda is a record label.
Or a movement or something that Deoro created. Deoro
Yes.
was a pretty big DJ producer
In the
artist.
EDM world. So before we get into that, we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves so you kind of understand how we got to Panda and how we met at Panda, because before that, we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
And how we're back together again here.
Yeah, after
doing
like
podcasts.
probably like 4 months, 5 months of like just doing our own thing.
No,
Like
it's
that?
been like 9 months.
Since we like hung out and stuff.
Oh, I mean, but like 9 months
Yeah,
since.
yeah. We've done anything together.
Yeah. It's been a while actually since we hung
Yeah.
out. Time flies.
Yeah. So do you want to start about how like your introduction to Panda Funk and Deoro and that whole electronic world?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so let's. My introduction to Panda Funk was I ran a store in West Covina. It was called Store 13. You might have heard about it because we sold rave tickets to, I feel like, every person in the world. And Deoro used to come in. His best friend was a promoter for some of the raves, so he would always be in. Long story short, I was at the Fox Theater in Pomona, ran into his best friend. He was like, hey, Deoro's doing a show at the Nas Event Center. We need some help with marketing. I said, cool. That fell through. Hadn't heard from him for months. And then I run into Mike again at the Fox Theater, and he was like, yo, Deoro wants to talk to you about some like marketing stuff. And I'm like, oh, I mean, you have my number. Okay. He's like, okay, well, I'll pick you up tomorrow. I'm like, okay. Didn't really like believe it because the last time he fell through.
Yeah.
It comes through. And then from that night on, I was working for Deoro, but I literally did not leave his house for 2 months.
I remember that. Like, you lived at his house for like
I lived at his house.
a couple months.
I only came home to get like
New
clothes. That was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so I worked at Panda and then that's where I met Ray. But Ray was working there prior to me. So before, what were you doing before, or how did you even get into Panda?
So before Panda, I started like my life started at 16 when I started throwing parties, and like that was like my introduction to like music and entertainment and that type of stuff. So I started throwing parties around 16 here in a city called Downey, which is part of like Los Angeles County. And then I started DJing, and then I started producing music. And after I went to school for music production. After that, I called one of my friends who was at the time the Oro's manager, and they were starting Panda Funk, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I just graduated from music production. I have like no idea what to do. Like, what's up? Like, can you find a place for me?" He was like, "Come intern for us for a while, and we'll see if we can find a spot for you." Since I had a little bit of knowledge of like Photoshop and stuff, so I was like, "Let me just start doing banners. Let me start doing like whatever I can." I noticed like we need some video editing, so then I started doing video editing, and like noticed like we needed bigger numbers on social media platforms. So I started learning how to get bigger numbers, and I helped Panda Funk go from like 40,000 likes to like 500,000 likes. So like at the time we left, it was around that number. So yeah, I just kind of like my title, I guess, was like marketing director or like somewhere in marketing, you know. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into Panda Funk.
With Panda Funk, everyone there wore a lot of hats.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
It was
If
a really
you
small
worked there, you had like a main priority, but you were also working on multiple things. But it was a very small team. I think there was like maybe 6 of us, 7.
Yeah, like real employees, like probably more less than that.
Like 6.
Yeah,
Around 6. We'll say 6 people.
yeah, and
Holding it down, son.
yeah, I definitely, that's very true about wearing different hats. Like I did a lot of A&Ring also, which I never like officially held that title. Like I never called myself a Panda Funk A&R, but like I got a lot of songs signed. I connected a lot of people, like which is like an A&R's job, you know? And I learned a lot. Like I think that's what I'm most grateful for Panda Funk, like all the knowledge that I got from there, like knowing how a label is ran, like things to do, things not to do. And like now fast forwarding a couple months later when I'm running 2 labels, like I feel like I have had some success because of the knowledge I gained from that.
Do you think, looking back, had you not worked at Panda Funk, you would have had your own label now? Or would you have
Probably
ever
not.
even started a label?
I probably not. Absolutely not. Actually, I think if it wasn't Panda Funk, like shaped me to be who I am and like know the stuff I want, the stuff I want. Like I saw stuff happen at Panda Funk, and I was like, fuck. Like I don't agree with that decision, but it's not really my call because it's not my label. So I was like, I always wanted to make certain calls that I couldn't, because like at the end of the day I was just an employee. It was not my record label. So like I that's when I started growing. Like I want to have something that's my own like this someday, and I knew it would come when I decided that's what I wanted. And like after basically we got fired, it just kind of happened, you know.
Yeah, and I think also seeing like the cracks in like what we were doing and things that could have been better, that kind of implemented more into like what you're doing now. Because actually, okay, so I had pitched the Spotify playlist maybe like 2 years prior to us even doing the Spotify playlist, because we started doing Spotify playlists for Panda Funk maybe a few months, like 6 months before we even stopped, like before everything was done.
Yeah, I remember that too. Like at the time, like I remember like saying like, "Yo, Spotify playlist is like the move. Like we definitely need to like focus more on that and like try and bring in new ideas." And it was just like it was either we didn't have the resources or we just didn't have the time because it was other priorities, and it just got overlooked.
And also, yeah, there's 6 of us working on like tons of stuff,
Yeah, like
so it was kind of like
yeah,
it was hard to keep track and like actually stay focused on every single thing
yeah.
that we did. Even, I mean, we still did it, but I
It
feel
was
like
a learning experience for
yeah.
a lot of us, you know. Like a lot of the people that were running the label, it was the first time running a label, you know. So I think we were all learning at the same time, and we all left with a lot of knowledge.
Okay. And then this is also a disclaimer. This is not like a diss or anything towards Panda Funk.
Yes.
If, you know, anyone on the internet is out there like maybe feeling like some type of way about how we're talking about it, it's just, we worked for them and like it's just funny to us, or like we can like laugh and joke about things, whatever, but it's not, there's no way like a diss or anything.
No, we're cool.
It's
with
all good blood.
everybody
Still
that
good.
is, so.
Still cool with D
Yeah.
and everybody. D is Duoro.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about our experiences there.
Yeah, that's
So-
part of like our life, you know. Like it, if you, I don't think you guys can see. Like we're also like filming this too, but like back there, I have like a Panda Funk logo like thing, portrait. I don't know what you call that.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. That's the thing.
but it's like it's part of my life, our life. I think
our story.
it has shaped us to like be where we're at now.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely a few chapters there. Okay, so Panda Funk ends. You okay? We got fired from Panda Funk.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we got fired.
Here's what happened. Like, I guess here's a briefing on my part. I feel like they wanted to consolidate and kind of do things a certain way and like try something new. So they got rid of
things
changed. They got rid of everybody, and I don't think things went as planned. And I'm not sure if Panda Funk.
I'm not sure.
I'm not saying that they're not, but
label. I'm not sure right now, but I think that the point is to like someday bring it back with like a new team and like do it again. I don't know.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yeah, fast forward after that, like I was like pretty much like jobless, just kind of hustling for like 3-4 months, and then I found.
How was that?
It was kind of bad actually. It was pretty awful. Like not having like some type of steady income sucks. That's when I realized like I want to find several revenue streams that are consistent. And yeah, after that I got a job at a music distribution company called DashGo. Shout out to DashGo. And completely changed my life. Like that's when I was like, this is like I don't have to worry about paying bills anymore. Like I can just like do this like music shit like for reals, and it's a full-time job. So like, my paycheck is pretty good.
But I feel like you missed out on something.
What?
What did you do in between?
Oh yeah, I was doing management.
No, in between from Panda Funk to DashGo.
There was like a brief little like it was.
But I feel like that's important
like
though.
3 weeks where like I had to drive Uber.
But it's important because you met one of your artists.
I did meet one of my now artists that I manage driving Uber those 3 weeks.
That's like a 1 in a million. That's like the oddest thing.
Yeah.
And you'll get into that story another time. But
yeah, shout out to Calypso. She's an artist I manage now, but I found her driving. Like she was my passenger. So I drove Uber for around 3 weeks because I needed the money, I honestly enjoy Uber. Like it's really fun for me, like just meeting people and talking to them. But I did that because like the struggle was real. But yeah.
Okay, so now, and then you kind of covered what you do.
Yeah, music distribution. I started 2 record labels, fairly successful, like 2 million streams in like 3-4 months since starting them, and
curating Spotify playlists,
which is like huge now. Like for a lot of and
you're
artists,
crushing it.
Some people would think so. Like I know a lot of artists like look for that. Like independent Spotify playlisters, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of them.
Yeah, dope. That's tight.
Yeah. What else? What else is
I guess I could give a little
definitely
about myself, what I'm doing now. So I still bartend at festivals. I've always bartended at festivals even when I was at Panda Funk. So when everybody was like go at Panda Funk, I was like, I mean, chill, like I still make a lot of money elsewhere, And I do photography as well. So now my main focus is just like food photography. I run an account called Fituations where I do like food and fitness. But it's like junk food. It's not like health foods or anything. So the goal for that is just to kind of, get paid to eat and take pictures. And that's for this year coming up is just like the main priority is taking pictures of food, traveling, and getting paid.
Talk about that really quick. For 2019, do you have like a New Year's resolution or something that you have?
I don't have a resolution. I don't like believe in resolutions. And I just feel like we create the measurement of time. So if I really want to get something done, I could just do it,
100% agree, yeah.
But to you guys who make resolutions, all for it. Go do, whatever floats your boat. I guess for me, just focusing on food photography, because currently if you look at my Instagram, it's all girls, hot girls and friends and beautiful people, whatnot. And I love that. But as a creative and as just someone who always has to be working on projects, food is just consistent. Like I can't go wrong,
Food and sex are the only things in life that you're going to enjoy as much as those 2 things, food and sex. Like
100%.
Name something else that is as good as food and sex.
You know what? And I got it. A goal for this year is to do some kind of campaign work or even Instagram ad work, whatever, for McDonald's.
McDonald's, where you at?
McDonald's. Come on, dog. Give your brother a chance.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to do something cool and fun. Like, I love McDonald's. I love their marketing, everything about them. I know I'll probably get some backlash, but I love McDonald's. They're practically vegan, okay?
I think we had to like.
And if I were to get a sponsorship, they'd be like,
we had to talk you out of like not getting a McDonald's tattoo. Is that right?
Yeah. They actually, yeah.
I remember at the office, like you were talking about getting a McDonald's tattoo. We were like, no, what are you doing, bro? Like, no.
I was about to get McDonald's arches on my leg and my thigh, or my version of a Salvador Dali piece with French fries and chicken nuggets.
No.
Then it would have been awesome. But yeah, so that's where I'm at now, is just continue on with photography and bartending.
That's awesome.
And running my account. So that's like the main priority is 2019, build the following, getting that shit popping, having fun with it, and just doing what I love.
Yeah, I tell HairFace all the time. I don't know how he doesn't have like so many more followers on social media, because he's like always around good-looking people. He's always going out. He's like super talkative, and like I'm just like, what? Like, how are you not super famous on Instagram? I think what's gonna happen is one day he's just gonna like tag the right person. They're gonna like repost you or something, and then you're just gonna blow up and become super famous.
Well, I'm actually supposed to be shooting with Tiana G soon, so that should be pretty cool.
Well, didn't you shoot for like Jenny 69 or something like that too?
Yeah, I took some pictures of her. They're nice.
You're all over the place, man.
Killing
it.
Yeah.
What else before we sign out?
I think that's mostly it. If you like food and fitness, you can follow me at Fituations, Fituations, on Instagram, Facebook,
if you like
Twitter,
music, and random topics, follow me, Ray Sintapia.
No, okay. Here's the thing too. I feel like Ray should have a lot more followers on Instagram. Not necessarily not
your regular people. It has to be
not
like
your Instagram account, like your other, like the Sintapia and all that stuff.
Sintapia, yeah.
But that's what this is for, though. Like to like broadcast what you're up to and like about your label and stuff. And I think that you should get into that on another podcast, like what your label stands for, because prior to this, we had dinner at like low key taco stand, and you were like talking to me, and I was like super inspired, very cool what you're doing, and I just felt like, man, if more people knew about this, I feel like you would be so much bigger, and I feel like, yeah, going into 2019, there's a lot of success for you.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I want to do 2019 is like do at least one video on YouTube. I don't want to like put it out there and say like I'm going to do it, because I know like there could be one week where like it's not possible, but that's definitely like my goal, where I want to do one video a week, and then also just let people know like what I'm doing with music, because I have a lot to say about music. I feel pretty experienced about it. So yeah.
What about podcasts?
Yeah. I kind of feel like podcast and YouTubing like kind of be mashed and blended together.
Okay, cool. Well, I have a podcast as well, starting this year.
Plug.
It is called New Lows, and we'll be talking about business and all the new fun shit and problems you run into when you're, diving into your passion project and leaving your 9-to-5. So I definitely want to interview you, because I feel like leaving Panda Funk has been a blessing, but there's also like lows that you've hit in between them, like kind of like working for Uber.
100%.
But we can go over that soon. We're like on a like time frame right now.
Definitely.
So we should probably sign out now.
All right, guys.
Don't forget, follow us on Instagram.
Thank you for listening or watching.
At HairFace.
At Ray Sintapia.
And that's it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us how you feel, and that's it. Peace out, guys. Have a great 2019.
Cheers, mate.